Many high school students take advanced or accelerated courses, but we don't have a good understanding of who those students are and what benefits they get from taking those courses.
Acceleration courses provide opportunities for students to be exposed to college-level coursework and to be challenged in ways that they wouldn't normally be in regular classes. But not all students have access to these classes.
That's Liz Davis, one of the researchers at the Regional Educational Laboratory Midwest, REL Midwest for short, a lab that conducts education research for our region. I'm Sarah Rand with REL Midwest in Chicago. The research team's been studying data from Minnesota's 2011 public high school graduates, analyzing participation in acceleration programs you may know under names like Advanced Placement and International Baccalaureate. These are academically challenging courses that give kids credit toward a high school diploma and a college degree. It's a good deal. Researchers also looked at characteristics of students who took these courses, which of them got that college credit, and what impact acceleration courses had on them once they got to college. Liz Davis says acceleration programs can take different forms.
There's advanced placement coursework, which is through the College Board. There are a lot of high schools in Minnesota that offer advanced placement. There's also international baccalaureate programs and coursework students can take. Through the state, there are a couple of different types of programs. There are post-secondary enrollment options, which are courses that students take either actually on a college campus or they take them online. There's also a program called concurrent enrollment, where students take those college courses at their high school, and those are taught by a trained high school teacher. There's also a fifth category that we put together for the study, in which we just basically call other or unknown programs.
So tell me, what kind of students are taking these advanced courses? What are they like?
So in the study, we found that acceleration program participants were more likely to be female. They're more likely to be white and on the higher end of the socioeconomic status, and also on the higher end of academic achievement in terms of their standardized test scores and ACT and SAT scores.
What kind of students are actually getting credit? Because it's not a given that all students that take these advanced courses are going to get credit. So who's actually getting credit?
Among those who participated in these programs, the students who actually earn that credit or are awarded that credit once they get to college are even more likely to be female, more likely to be white, and more likely to be on the higher end of the socioeconomic scale.
So what are the benefits to taking these courses? It's, a good option to get ahead, but what are some of the other benefits to taking these advanced courses?
We found that students who participated in acceleration coursework in high school were more likely to enroll in a Minnesota college in several different ways. And among those who did enroll in a Minnesota college within 2 years of graduation, they were less likely to take remedial coursework or developmental coursework in their first semester, and they were also more likely to come back for a second year of college. Something really interesting that we found was that the act of participation may be just as important as actually getting that credit once you get to college.
So you're saying if I'm a high school senior and I get not a great grade in my AP advanced placement biology class, just taking that class makes me less likely to take a remedial course or makes me more likely even just to go to college?
Yes. We saw benefits for those students even when credit was not awarded.
An advocate for gifted and talented students and an international baccalaureate teacher at St. Louis Park High School outside Minneapolis, Mary Norris says acceleration courses pay big dividends for kids.
There is an element of creativity that these courses call out in students and really help them invest in the coursework and the challenges.
Do you help students get credit for these acceleration courses? And how does that process, what does that look like as they are applying to get credit for the work they do in high school and college?
For AP and IB, there are exams in the spring. May is just a killer month. It's deadly. And these are externally moderated exams. And depending on the course and depending on the institution, a student will get a credit if they score at a certain cutoff point or above, and then that will get reported directly to their college and university. And obviously each of these institutions has a different policy slightly and different cutoff points, and so that's up for the college or university to determine. People will look at these courses and say, oh my, these are just for overachievers, and I would answer to those people, well, in the real world, these overachievers that you're looking at are simply called achievers. And I think that these kids, it's the icing on the cake for them. The chance to get a credit for just an entry-level course, it rewards them for the level of rigor they are encountering, and it inspires them to just wade through it all because it becomes very demanding for them.
So it's setting them up, it's giving them a little bit of a jump start once they get to college, is that right?
100%. If they can slug it out through the experience a lot of them are going to be getting, particularly in their 11th and 12th grade years, their freshman year of college is pretty much a breeze. Colleges know this, and they know that if a candidate has been successful in IB AP, it pretty much, not 100% of the time, guarantees success in college. Colleges love that stuff because they're held accountable for their graduation rate. So this is an added benefit for a candidate.
What is the process for students to get into the acceleration courses? Do they have to do anything to qualify to enter the course itself?
We've gone through a metamorphosis on that. In the past, we had students enroll in a quote-unquote honors block, and if they made it through the honors block, and it was sort of a winnowing device, if they made it through the honors block, then they could enroll into these classes. But we, in the course of looking at racial equity and what's fair, good practice, we have eliminated that. And we have determined that if a student self-selects, we're going to put that student in the course because all students should have the opportunity to experience an AP or an IB level course, because our intention is all students are going to have a post-secondary program of some kind.
So there's no longer like you have to be in an honors program like to clear that hurdle to enter an AP course. You're saying anyone who has the interest and let's say taking an AP biology class, they can.
Absolutely.
Mary also talked about how the system should be more inclusive for all students.
I want to see better, more successful ways of identifying gifted and talented students of color, because I believe currently our system is terrific for white kids. I think it's wonderful. They know how to do school, bang, bang, here we go. But what gifted looks like for a black or a brown child, that's going to be very, very different, and it's culturally, it's influenced by culture, it's influenced by language, it's influenced by all these things. And so I don't think our current testing protocol pulls gifted and talented equitably from all of our populations. We've got to have something better. We have to have something different. How do we reach out to students of color and say, you are welcome. We want to include you if you have the interest.
A senior at St. Louis Park High School, the same one Mary works at, Aaron Councilman is a fan of acceleration courses. He's taken a whopping 9 of them. International Baccalaureate Math, Biology, English Literature, History of the 21st Century, and Advanced Placement Calculus, Statistics, European History, Environmental Science, and Computer Science.
School, more enjoyable, when not only are you learning at things, but you're also being challenged intellectually, and you're challenged to explain your thinking and to think about things critically. And I think the IB program especially does that really well.
So I assume it's a good thing if you get credit for these courses.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a good thing. There's definitely a piece of it that is monetary. If you can come in with having credits already, you're not going to have to spend money to pay for those credits in college. So you can often get out of, especially you can sometimes get out of like the giant freshman introductory lectures to things, and you can start exploring your major or your interests sooner. You can take more classes and things that interest you instead of just having to take lots of classes in like the requirements.
The Minnesota Office of Higher Education is working with colleges and universities to give more students access to acceleration programs. Liz Davis says she hopes this work makes a difference.
So in general, we want to make acceleration coursework more accessible to all students, no matter what their race or socioeconomic status or background, because it's clear that all students can receive the benefits that these courses offer, college credit and higher rates of persistence in college.
Read the full report to learn more about the benefits students get from taking these advanced courses, regardless of whether they get credit or not. Look for the full research report on relmidwest.org and ies.ed.gov. For Rel Midwest, I'm Sarah Rand. This podcast is funded by the Institute for Education Sciences at the U.S. Department of Education. To learn more, visit ies.ed.gov.